Hello, my name is Miguel Mata, and this is the This Way Out podcast, a component of the This Way Out project. This podcast is where I take a few minutes to try and offer some words of encouragement, attempt to inspire and hopefully motivate people as they start their day, where I address topics that can be especially challenging for some people, but hopefully in a way that speaks to the humanity in each of us. But most of all, it's my attempt at being a positive source of energy where for many, such a thing can be somewhat difficult to find. Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. This morning, I would like to take a moment to put out into the world a few choice words that maybe some of you don't hear enough. Those words are, you are good enough. Many of us seem to fixate on the thought as to whether or not we are meeting some expectation set for us by family, culture, or communities. And I'm here to tell you, relax. Now, one fact of life is that we are always trying to fit in somewhere. But in that attempt to find belonging, many of us are trying to squeeze ourselves into a space where, in fact, we do not fit. Some of us are square pegs trying to fit into round holes. And in order to do that, we have to chip away the pieces of our personality, the pieces that make us unique. We're chipping those pieces away to fit into those groups or to those ideas. Now, I want to reiterate, searching for a group to belong to is not wrong. Absolutely not. Belonging to a tribe, believe it or not, like it or not, is a part of our psychological programming. It's a desire that our brains have developed over thousands upon thousands of years of evolution based on a primal need to survive. Way back when, we needed our groups to survive in the wild. So, fast forward to the jungles of the modern world. The search for belonging is hardwired in our brains as part of a survival instinct that ensures our safety. In this episode, I'm addressing a specific piece of that desire. Although that need to fit in is primal, our choice to compromise our beliefs, our values, our personality, basically anything that makes us unique or a unique individual for the sake of fitting into a group is exactly that. It's a choice. Opposing our desire to belong to certain circles or fit into certain boxes can feel especially difficult. Especially when the terms for membership are set by the ones we care for the most. Our immediate families, our romantic partners, our close friends, and so on. In these situations, my advice will always be to listen to yourself. Ask yourself, what makes me happy? What makes me uncomfortable? Do I agree or disagree with a certain belief? Do I agree or disagree with a certain behavior? Be honest with your answers. And as I said before, listen to yourself. In my experience, if I am compromising myself to belong or to fit in a box, I get unhappy. And I eventually have to address whatever the topic is that's bothering me. And the result is not always favorable. But I will always feel better about being honest with myself than being false with others. Which brings me back to the beginning. You are good enough. Your beliefs are your beliefs. Your emotions are okay to experience when you experience them. Your choices are yours alone. Your life is yours to live, however you see fit. If you base your choices and behaviors strictly on the choices and behaviors of others, then the way I see it, your life does not belong to you. It belongs to someone else. Does that make sense? For example, let's say Jack is getting ready to go up a hill, and Jill wants to be friends with Jack. But Jill doesn't like hills. Jack says, "Come on, Jill. Hills are awesome." Well, Jill doesn't want Jack to be angry at her. She doesn't want to be a party pooper, so against her better judgment, she goes with Jack. Well, somewhere along the way, Jack makes some poor choices and as a result ends up falling down the hill and breaking his crown. And then, guess what? Now Jill is stuck falling down that same hill. Jack chose for himself and Jill what choices they were making that day. And Jill went against her instincts and followed old Jack up that hill. And when it all fell apart, Jill was included in the bad result. Now, I realize that's probably a bad example, but the moral of that story in particular is that if you compromise yourself and allow someone to choose what's right or wrong for you, well, my guess is that if things go wrong, you're going to be pretty upset with yourself for going against your own intuition. Once again, the point is this: you are good enough. Your choices, your decisions, your feelings, your emotions, all of it. It's all good enough. Let's be clear about one thing before I close. This is most definitely not an anti-fun episode. On the contrary, I am a firm believer that any day that does not end in the hospital or in jail is a good day. However, one must be responsible and accountable for their own choices. And it's a lot easier to accept the results of any one decision when it's based on a person or group's shared values. That being said, once again, you are good enough. Your choices, your feelings, your decisions, and so on. The tiniest levels of complexity that make up who you are as an individual are good enough. Only you know you best. So listen to yourself. You are good enough. This has been the This Way Out podcast, a part of the This Way Out project. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to hear future episodes, please subscribe. If you would like to get in touch with me to recommend future topics, provide feedback, or any other reason, you can comment on the episode or send me an email at thiswo.light@gmail.com. That's thiswo.light@gmail.com. If you're interested in the other aspects of the This Way Out project, be sure to visit my website at thiswo-light.com.